Okay guys, Nitro RC World here. I'm going to show you the Revo 3.3 clutch setup part 2. This is this spacer here. That's what we're making right here. The spacer. That's this here. So this spacer here spans this clutch clip groove here. It's your crankshaft. It's your clutch clip groove, thick plastic shim. That's what this is. You want that to span that clutch clip groove. One solid piece. This is an old Revo spur gear strip, so I just used it for my spacer. So you start this right in the center of this. Right in the center. Start it with your X-Acto knife. Use a small drill. Drill that. And keep drilling, working your way up 3/16. And when you get to 3/16, it'll be drilled out 3/16. When you ream it, go around and ream it a little bit. Ream it a little bit at a time. It's 3/16 drill. Easier that way. This is your shim here, your spacer. I made a couple of them. Another 0.3 Kyosho clutch shim, just like this one. So that's the one I drilled out with the 3/16 right there. You want that just to slip on there. See how it just won't barely go on there? Then you got to ream it some more. A little bit at a time. Go around a little bit at a time. Keep reaming that. Just barely fits on there. See, it's still pretty tight. We're not quite there yet. You need to keep reaming that. Keep reaming that around. The 3/16 drill. Keep reaming that till it just goes on there. It's still pretty tight. You got to keep reaming that till it slides on there. You don't want any slop. You don't want this slopping around on there. It just has to go on there nice and snug. Put this up here. Kyosho clutch shim set. 5 by 7 millimeter shim set. 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 is in here. Here's 0.3 Kyosho clutch shim. This 0.3 Kyosho clutch shim, that's this orange line. You have Revo 3.3 clutch bearing, 5 by 10 clutch bearing. This is the Revo, or the Kyosho. This orange line, that's where that comes to. I like to make mine a little bit bigger. See how this is a little bit bigger diameter. A little bit bigger diameter. I like to bring mine right up to here. But you can make it like this Kyosho clutch shim if you want to, but I like to make mine bigger. You don't want anything touching this part of the bearing though. Nothing touching that. So this is how I clean out the bearings. You need to clean out the bearings. These are metal shield bearings. Not rubber shield, metal shield. I use a pen cap. I use motor degreaser. Put some of that in here. Get them all cleaned out. Same with the other one. Clean them out. You'll hear it when they're clean. They'll have a little bit of roll. But we need to get this motor cleaner in there and clean it out some more with this motor cleaner. Brake cleaner, whatever you want to use. Clean that out. Clean them both out. You'll hear a little roll when you got all the grease out of there. They'll have a little bit of a roll. Get that all dabbed off. You get some tri-flow. Shake that up a good minute or two. Get it all shook up good. Spray a little bit of that on there. Work it in. Dab as much of that off of there as you can. Get that tri-flow off of there. Get good and dry it off. Good and dry it off. That's how you get your clutch roll. That's how you get this to roll nice and smooth. Kyosho 0.3 clutch shim first. Of course, your clutch shoes. These bearings have been all cleaned out. Here's the spacer we're making. The spacer goes on there. Associated shock spacer. That's that plastic. Associated shock spacer inside the shock. I like to use one of those. Get that all in there. Crank down. Crank down tight. Pull your flywheel in with your left hand. You see that gap? See that play? That's what you want right there. You want 4 or 5 second clutch roll. Once you got this piece cut out of here, see, that's the one we're drilling right there, we're cutting. Cut that out of there. Make sure it's big enough. You don't want to go too small. Once you got that cut out of there, then you can keep trimming it down a little bit at a time till it looks like this Kyosho. 0.3 clutch shim. You don't want it that small, but you can make it that small. I'll have to make mine a little bit bigger. See, that's a little bit bigger diameter. This is the Kyosho. This orange line here. I like to go out here a little bit more, a little bit bigger in between these two lines. You don't want anything touching here though. Nothing on this part of the bearing. And when you're done, you probably have to take this apart, because all the fitting you did with this, putting this on and there and off, all these little plastic pieces, they're going to get in that bearing, so you got to clean that out, just like I showed you. You get this sanded down, go around there, keep sanding it down, go around, keep sanding it down. You got it just about that big. A little bit bigger diameter than that Kyosho 0.3 clutch shim. And once you got that diameter, then you can sand it down like this. 1/4 turn, sand it down a little bit. 1/4 turn, sand it down a little bit. Keep going around like that. Keep testing that, putting that on there. When this is cranked down, and you get that little bit of play there, get a little bit of play. That's what you want. At least 4 or 5 seconds. Clutch roll. That's what I call it, clutch roll. And these bearings are new, so they're going to loosen up after you drive a little bit, and it'll roll up easier. But you want at least 4 or 5 second clutch roll right now. So that's how I do mine. You want to use metal spacers and shims, you can find them. That's up to you. I encourage you to find different avenues. Find your own way. That's what's so great about this hobby. You can find your own way. Find your own way of doing things. What works for you. I can set you on the path, but you have to navigate how you want to go down the path. Okay. Above all, enjoy the drive.